If you're ready to unlock your health in a whole new level, then this is the podcast episode for you. We have the one and only amazing Dr. Morgan Plantamura here with us, who's been a guest that's with us before on the TV show we host on American Dream. It's on HCTV, Apple TV, Amazon Prime. List goes on. And it was so good she's back again. She's by far one of the most amazing people I've ever met and the best in the industry when it comes to holistic health, chiropractic, so much more. You're in for an amazing treat with Dr. Morgan here right now. Thanks for being here.
Oh, I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me, Jordan.
Yeah, of course. Always so much fun working with you and having our dialogues.
Absolutely. It's fun. Y'all ask really good questions. So podcast is the perfect fit for you.
Well, thank you so much. And I know I did a huge introduction for you just now, but like for those who are new to you, who are you? What do you do? And why should they stay on this podcast episode today?
Yeah. So I'm Dr. Morgan Plantamura. I'm a pediatric family wellness chiropractor here in Austin, Texas, with a specialty on the function of the nervous system. So we have been in practice. Truly Chiropractic is the name of our practice, and we've been in Austin practicing for about 6 years, and just have a passion for family wellness and holistic health. So it's been a journey not only in the entrepreneurship space, and I'm sure we'll talk about that, but also really educating families here in Austin and beyond what true health means and how chiropractic and nervous system health play a role in that, and providing families with a lot of really beautiful options for health and healing. So, yeah.
I love that. And I love the name Truly Chiropractic as well. Truly wellness and truly adjusted, as you would say.
Yeah, I was brainstorming in chiropractic school one day. This is in Tri4. So this is like my first year, like a little over my first year in chiropractic school. I knew I wanted to open my own practice. So I did a lot of work in school to make sure I was ready to do that. But I went on a drive one day and Truly popped into my head, and I looked up the meaning of it. And the definition is to the fullest degree. So a lot of people use the word truly to really emphasize what they're saying. And I thought that was really beautiful. So ran with it, and here we are.
I love that. That's amazing. And what do you think is the biggest misconception people have about chiropractic work?
Yeah, that's a great question. Mainly, I think most people the first thing they think is, oh, you see kids. Like, that's weird. Or like, I don't understand that. Or what do you mean? You're a chiropractor. Like, how do you see kids? I think that's a big misconception, is that chiropractic is just for pain management and for adults or sports injuries, things like that. And so really connecting the dot for people through education on why we see kids through nervous system health, nervous system development. I actually always say that the best time that you could ever be under chiropractic care is 0 to 2, because your nervous system is growing and developing so rapidly that you're setting the foundation of development for your child. So I think that would be the common misconception, is the difference between like what is pain chiropractic and if you Google chiropractor right now, you're going to get something about pain management versus what we actually do in the office is different. Yeah.
Yeah, super amazing. My son has been with them for the past 8 months. He's turned 8 months. Long ago, I've been adjusted with you guys since before he was born. So he's been adjusted in a way his entire life.
I mean, and that's the thing, is like, I know y'all notice the difference between Alexander and how beautiful his nervous system and development has been thus far, because of support. And I mean, obviously being amazing parents to him. I mean, that helps.
He's definitely quite happy. I think having the adjustments and truly happy helps a lot too. So I'm thinking a lot. So thank you so much so far for that. And what made you want to become a chiropractor in the first place? I feel like early days just like inspired to do that.
For sure. I started seeing a chiropractor when I was 15. and I guess turning 16, I had an ankle injury. So I had 3 surgeries on my ankle my freshman year of high school, and from a cheerleading accident. My mom, I was trying to try out the next year, and I was having a lot of compensation and challenge because of my ankle. And so my mom took me to a chiropractor. So I went to a chiropractor all through high school. And then I didn't think much of it until my freshman year at the University of Texas here in Austin. I started as an advertising major, and it was not for me. It just wasn't my favorite subject. And so I really thought about it long and hard, what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. And chiropractic is something that laid it on my heart. And I ended up changing my major that my freshman year, my first semester. I changed my major. I went and worked for a chiropractor that summer and loved it. And then, chiropractic school changed my entire life, my family's life, our future, obviously, when it comes to health. But it really, I feel like it almost, a lot of chiropractors will say this, but I feel like it chose me in a way, like doors just closed and opened and guided me in the path to becoming a chiropractor. And then I, really got introduced to some amazing mentors while I was in chiropractic school that guided me towards opening a practice like Truly that's more family oriented, focused on pediatric health and community driven rather than like sterile doctor's office vibes. And so, and just seeing the miracles that can happen in pediatric health through chiropractic really inspired me to go in the direction that I have now been in, which is a little bit different than how my journey started in high school. So, yeah.
That is super inspiring. Life definitely takes us where we should be at. There are no accidents. So I love that.
Yeah, it does. I feel very grateful to have been pushed into the career path that I'm in. So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm happy though too.
Yeah.
I know that you're a huge success now, but like, what were the early days just like for you starting Truly, being an entrepreneur, trying to take over Austin, Texas? What was that like for you back in the day?
Yeah, I think anybody who's an entrepreneur or open to business knows it's there's always unexpected delays, unexpected challenges. That's why you have to really love what you do and have a clear vision of what you're working towards, because it's not always easy. I know for me, it's interesting because I actually had randomly, like 2 days ago, a new like Truly follower like a post from 2019 when we got our space, and I read the caption and it was talking about how hard it was. I was delayed opening about 5 months because of finding a space here in Austin. The real estate market and the commercial real estate market was, which I'm sure, obviously you're in real estate, it was a challenge to find something commercially that fit what we were looking for, that wasn't crazy expensive, that didn't need a ton of work. And in the right location. And so we finally landed on where we're currently at still. But it took a lot. I started looking in September of 2018 for a space, and we didn't land on anything until May of 2019. So that was my first really big hurdle. And also coming out of school, you have a lot of debt and you want to get off the ground and like get moving, and you're taking out a business loan and you're paying for all of these things. Like, it's scary. I was 26 at the time and really like jumping into it, looking back, like it's crazy to think now how far we've come with 2 locations and a growing team. But yeah, I really had to have people believe in me. Like my family believed in me so much, and was such a big support that, it would have been easy for me to just like go get a job and try to figure it out, and kind of pause that because of the delays that I experienced. But I knew that I'd worked so hard during chiropractic school to open Truly, and I knew I was ready, and I knew I had something very unique and special to offer the Austin community. And so really thankful that I held strong, and we opened in July of 2019. And so yeah, it was a journey, but those were probably my biggest challenges from the get-go. Like my number one challenge at the beginning was that, for sure.
Yeah, now look at you now. You have offices and growing team, taking over all of Austin, TV, taking over.
Yeah. I mean, like I mentioned, like when you have a strong vision and you're passionate about what you do, it really makes like your values align with your decisions so strongly that it really is easy to continue. I mean, granted, I won't say at all that the last 6 years have been easy, because they have not. Even in the success and of where we're at right now, scaling is a challenge, and growing and continuing to build up team and grow in leadership. Yes, I'm a chiropractor, and I would say I'm really good at being a chiropractor, and I've had to learn a lot over the last 6 years about leadership. And I'm nowhere near where I want to be or perfect in that regard, but it is something that I'm constantly focused on because of where we're headed and where I do see our potential with what we have to bring Austin and the growth that I know we are capable of. But as a growing into I can be a great chiropractor, but I only have so much time and energy to provide chiropractic care, and I know I need to build up my team to be able to serve more of Austin. So that's kind of maybe a current challenge. So I don't want to act like it's rainbows and butterflies, but again, when you love what you do, I really don't feel like I'm working that much because it all aligns with the values that we have. So yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I think entrepreneurship is not for the weak. It's a lot of struggle, a lot of letdowns, failures, but also huge wins as well. Outside of that, and you follow that dream, that vision, hopefully we'll come together and have a massive change other people's lives as well.
Yeah,
so important.
Exactly, you're totally right. Like it's you got to be very clear. Like there is going to be, even after crazy wins and massive wins, and we always celebrated those wins along the way, because it's whenever you do have a big vision, it's easy to get stuck in feeling like you're not doing enough. But all of these things are building blocks to the big vision that you're dreaming 5 years from now. And I think whenever when I look back at 26-year-old me, where I'm at right now, would be very proud. And so I think making sure you're celebrating those wins is really important as your vision continues to grow and expand. So
yeah, without doubt, definitely you versus you every single day. And so I've been making sure they're saying how far we come is more important than where we're going sometimes. If we're on the right track, stay motivated, not lose hope. Oh man, I want to be so much further. But you are far.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, it is you're so much further than you think you are. And I feel like if you get stuck in thinking that you're not doing enough, you end up losing sight of what really the value is that you're bringing to people. And you can kind of go backwards. And I think any delay is for a reason. All of those things are to grow and expand you as a person, and the challenges that you face along the way, or the delays in where you think you should be, really do align with the overall goal. You just don't know it yet. So hindsight's 2020. And you realize oh yeah, I was meant to not sign that lease that would have got me in at March, because it would have been a disaster because of location or whatever. I meant to wait for the space that I'm in currently, and obviously still there. So, delays are always there for a reason, for sure.
Yeah. It's not rejection, it's redirection.
Yes, exactly.
Love it. And then a bit of question pop up. What made you decide on a pediatric and more holistic approach?
Yeah, so I think I touched on this a little bit earlier with my chiropractic journey, but it really was in chiropractic school. So I heard Dr. Tony Ebel, who is a chiropractor in outside of Chicago, and he is who we still train with today with the pediatric experience and pxdocs.com. But I heard him speak about helping him in his practice, like helping all these kids struggling with developmental delays, struggling with ear infections, struggling with kids who are on the spectrum and diagnosed with autism, and giving parents hope and they're honestly like their kids back in a way. And I was like, whoa, like that's how you bring true value. Like, yeah, pain, like it's really, pain can be very challenging to your life and to your system and your goals. But when your child is struggling with something that feels so out of your control, and chiropractic something that can support their neurology and their nervous system and have them have wins, is way more powerful and motivating to me than helping with pain.
Yeah, definitely.
That's just me. There's people out here that I'm very grateful for, the chiropractors and other people out there that are helping people with more of the rehab, because it is important, obviously, as well with health and life. But
yeah, I think that is very impactful what you do and how you help people in the core, not just on the outside of the spectrum there, from the pain management and so forth. And before I met you, I honestly thought that chiropractor were just for pain relief and not for other things.
Like we talked about, the stereotype, it's there.
Yeah. It's a real thing. How does it help, outside of this pain management? What can it do for you in terms of like mental clarity or for sinuses or ear infections and so forth you're talking about before?
Yeah, it all boils down to the nervous system. So at the end of the day, we don't think about the nervous system being something that is so powerful, but it is the system in our bodies that is perceiving, controlling, and adapting and recovering to our environment at all times. So whether that's a physical stress that we're experiencing that day, like working from the computer, whether that's a chemical stressor like allergens in the air, bacteria, viruses that could cause us to get sick or create an ear infection, or it's an emotional stressor that is the nervous system isn't able to adapt and recover to, and it's creating things like anxiety or brain fog, in somebody, depression, things like that. It all stems back to how the nervous system is actually perceiving the environment in which you're in and responding and adapting through it, recovering. Sometimes we don't recover, and that's where symptoms show up, and that's where we come in. So our office, as y'all know, is we do focus on the function of the nervous system and making sure that we're increasing our ability to adapt and recover to those stressors. So we do scans in our office. We see exactly where you're holding stress and tension, where there are inflammatory patterns, what your overall heart rate variability is, so that we can best serve you, track progress, while also eliminating stress that's built up in our neurology and giving our nervous system a stronger chance to adapt to outside stress, because stress is not going away, especially for entrepreneurs, especially for kids. They're growing and developing and adapting. So we do have one thing I will mention is, if you're listening to this and you're like, oh, that sounds interesting, we also have a ton of webinars and educational material on our website that helps look at the specific how chiropractic specifically supports something like ear infections. We dive into a 30-minute conversation about that in our webinar portal. So that is something. There's our ear infection webinar. So we do have a ton of information online to help support education, because that's something that we feel very strongly about. Is a lot of people have been going to a chiropractor for a while, or maybe just don't fully understand why they're getting adjusted. And we really want to make sure that our people are set up for success. So if they want to dive deeper, they can, and they have obviously us as a resource in the office, but also online to have educational materials as well.
Awesome, awesome. Education is definitely key. I love how you do scans as well. Before you, I went to the joint.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like, in and out, super fast, no conversation. It's pretty much done. They pop you and on
Yeah.
to the day. And if you guys, you have a whole scanning system, you talk to us like a big family, and
Mhm.
having the scans helps us understand like what's happening, why is it happening, and so forth.
Yeah, exactly. I think we take it a layer deeper, and we, like y'all experience, like we really do treat our people like family, and like the community that we're in
Mhm.
is something that's super important to us. And tracking progress, like we want you to understand why, like how chiropractic's impacting your health, outside of how you're feeling, but also how your nervous system is moving through, and how life's changing. Like you're taking on more opportunities, you're growing a family. You start doing, like, say someone starts to do a detox and they're wanting to see how their nervous system is responding. I feel like those things are really powerful to see in our scans, so that we can adjust our care and how we're actually adjusting you on the table
Mhm.
to make sure that we're supporting your body and your nervous system in your current life. So it's a deeper approach to us than something like the joint, where you're kind of more just like in and out, getting one-off adjustment without really the chiropractor knowing much about you, uh,
Mhm.
your neurology.
Yeah, definitely way more insights. And on that point, like for me, my real estate team's just passed $1.6 billion in transactions the past few years.
Yeah.
I'm always standing, I'm in my car, I'm always walking nonstop. For those who have a high stress job or
Mhm.
entrepreneurship career, how often should people be adjusted so they see you and so all that?
Totally. No, I mean, serving the entrepreneurs is obviously special, holds a special place in my heart, because I know how it feels. And really wanting to succeed, and what the kind of the pressure that can experience, that can put on your neurology and your nervous system. But mainly, it really depends. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but it depends on the scans. It depends on where you're at. Like in different seasons, that might look like, hey, you know what? We need to build momentum. We have a lot going on. We have a lot of weight on the neurology right now, and it's showing up symptomatically in your life and affecting your productivity and affecting your ability to reach your goals. Hey, we're going to
Mhm.
need to see you 3 times a week for a little bit, versus somebody who we've built momentum with, and we're really rocking and rolling and we're moving through. That could be, I know for me, it's like I need weekly care. Right now, it's one of the questions kind of on here, but
Mhm.
I'm also pregnant, and so right now I'm getting adjusted twice a week, because I'm putting my body through a lot. Obviously growing a beautiful human, but also serving so many people in Austin physically and holding space for them. I need a little bit more care. Now, do most of our wellness people see us twice a week? No,
Mhm.
but that's kind of where I'm landing right now. That could be every other week. It really, for our like high functioning entrepreneurs, business owners, people who are putting their systems through a lot. I feel like weekly care really is the bread and butter. But it really depends on the person and their scans and how they're moving. Because if we have great scans, 2 scans in a row, and we are going down in frequency and we're maintaining how we're feeling and maintaining our function, I don't need to see you more if we're
Mhm.
getting the results that we're looking for. So it depends.
Yeah, definitely. And the scans help you find out. For me, when I first met you, it was once a week. Now it's every 2 weeks. I see you guys. Alexander's, I think, every 2 weeks, and so is Melanie. The whole family have been adjusted to less because we have more
Yeah.
business now.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's the thing, is we build momentum. And so we don't need to see, like, also longevity of care, like how long you've been
Mhm.
under care. It's years, then yeah, we don't need to see you as frequently. If you've never been adjusted before, and you walk into my office and you have, the Big goals, which is great. We're not going to tell you to come in every other week at the beginning, just because you're not going to see the results that you're looking for. And I'd rather not waste your time, energy, and money when you have big goals. So it really just depends on the person.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that. And then a big question we just got from Jamie. Due to the injury, I haven't been able to work out much. Big stress reliever that I've lost. Can you touch on how chiropractic can help with stress?
Yeah, I think one thing we talk about is physical movement. We have, like I mentioned earlier, those chemical stressors, emotional stressors, and physical stressors. We have positive versions of those. One of those can be something like working out. It's a really great physical stressor that affects all areas of those, emotional included. And so, one, I feel like, depending on obviously the case and the story of what happened, definitely would need a little bit more information. But on the other end of that is chiropractic's relation to stress is literally like, it should be the bread and butter that we talk about with chiropractic and pain. Because at the end of the day, the number one thing that we see in our office is increasing adaptability to stress. So people realize like, oh, I actually handled this really like high stress experience very well. I didn't respond to it in a abnormal or over the top way. I was able to handle it. It didn't affect me physically. So like a lot of people experience stress, they'll get like a lot of tension in their body, or they're not sleeping. They're, their digestion gets off. Like stress is a very big topic, but it's literally, I know a lot of people nowadays like wear Oura rings, and it gives you your stress throughout the day and how you're managing it. And we have seen in our office with people who wear Oura rings, after starting care, their overall daily stress numbers went significantly down. So I think it's pretty cool.
You're truly making an impact, Dr. Morgan.
100%. I hope so. Or I wouldn't keep doing what I'm doing.
Definitely. And like for me, like I just bought a huge home gym for ice bath and a steam room and weights and all kinds of stuff. Are there any key like wellness routines you use to help you kind of stay aligned and adjusted and doing what you do?
Yeah, I think things like, cold plunging and sauning and all of that. Like we have a cold plunge, not using right now, but we do have a cold plunge here too. All those things I was actually having this conversation with a new patient, maybe 2 weeks when he started, but at the end of the day, they're meant to increase your resiliency and adaptability to stress. So you're stressing your system out via a sauna, via working out, via a cold plunge, which are all great, and building our resiliency and adaptability. If our system is already in a state of overwhelm, you're going to find that isn't going to feel great for that person. It's going to be too much for their system. But those tools, whenever we're working on recovery and building resiliency, are super powerful. So, for me, obviously I get adjusted. I like I mentioned, I have a cold plunge. Right now, with me being pregnant, a huge thing for me is spending, I'm a Christian, and so I spend time meditating and reading the Bible and spending time with God, and connecting to my baby through that. And that really brings me a lot of like peace and mental clarity. Devin, my husband, and I will go on a walk daily. Movement, like I mentioned, is really, really beautiful for the body. So we move our bodies every day. I am weightlifting still. So that's something that's super important during pregnancy. Obviously, if you were doing it before pregnancy, you can continue. You don't want to start anything new during pregnancy, but I am lifting weights, making sure that I'm continuing to strengthen my body, and eating good foods. And we are basically only shop at the farmer's market and eat very farm to table. And so, I feel like those three things, those are good emotional stressors, good stressors, good chemical stressors, all those things I really try to live by in my life. 80-20. So, we still have our things that we, indulge in, but
We're humans.
exactly. But yes, those are really things that I try to, anything that's in my daily environment, I really try to have things that are supporting my nervous system positively and supporting my adjustments.
Yeah, definitely sounds super holistic. Enough for me, I'm big on having a holistic routine and lifestyle. Before my wife, I worked 18-hour days every single day. It was skip lunch and it's work
Yeah.
all day. Now for baby and the family, I'm way more holistic and aligned like you all.
Yeah, exactly. It makes a big difference. You actually can be a lot more productive when you're not working 18-hour days and you're supporting your neurology. You find that like, oh wow, I'm actually a lot more productive with the time that I utilize to work because I'm supporting my nervous system and my body on the times that I'm not working. So I think balance is really important for sure.
Yeah, balance is everything. And, most of our audience on this podcast are entrepreneurs, people in Austin. So, what advice would you give for people trying to build a business for themselves, being an entrepreneur, and go to the next level?
Yeah, I think the main thing is you have to have a very clear vision and be passionate about what you do. I mean, I think a lot of people want to start something and be an entrepreneur, which is incredible. But it's not as glamorous as people think. There's a lot of, so that being said, like, yes, there is a lot of amazing things that can come out of being your own boss. If you don't have the right vision and you don't have the right passion for what you're doing, it's not going to work out. Yeah. It has to align with your values. So if you're thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, really sitting down and deciding what aligns with your values and what path that you'd want to go into, because that will allow you to get through the hard days and get to the other side of actually being successful, because you push through those and you know that your vision is so much bigger, because it's not about money. It's about serving others. It's about the value that you're providing your community. And, the success will come with that. But I think a lot of people chase entrepreneurship for financial success. And yes, that can happen, but it's not what brings you joy. It's not what gives you excitement when it comes to entrepreneurship. It's a outcome of honestly having a really clear vision and doing something that aligns with your values.
I love that. I think it's spot on. I think a lot of times you're seeing people in entrepreneurship for the money, for the Instagram photos, all those kind of things. But at the end of the day, like, it's all about impacting more people. Like, that's all we do. As entrepreneurs, our job is to help the community, help our staff have a means as well, and really grow from that point of view.
Huge. Yeah. I mean, it's literally the purpose of it all. So, yeah, that would be my main.
Great advice, great tips for sure. And speaking of vision, what is your vision for Truly in the next 5 to 10 years from now?
Yeah, it's it's evolving and changing with time. I think, as y'all know, stepping into a season of starting a family, we really sit down and reevaluate what that vision looks like. But at the same time, it also has motivated me and encouraged me in a whole different light and understanding for the population that I've been serving for the past 6 years. So stepping into relating more with my community through my experiences so far. But we want to be the place that families bring their kids first. When we know we can impact their life so much through chiropractic care, we want to be the first stop. So we want to be a place that pediatricians, midwives, other providers, OBs are referring to first before prescribing antibiotics, before prescribing surgeries, before prescribing medication. We really want to be considered the first option to change the trajectory of kids' future. So my personal mission has always been to change the trajectory of the future generation through chiropractic care and health. And that means I can't do that by myself. I have to do that with the team. So growing my doctor team, growing Truly's impact, serving more families is really where I see us moving into and growing into. And making sure that we're educating those families on the value of chiropractic care and the impact that it can have on not only their health, but their kids' health and their future. So, that means expanding.
Yeah. That's amazing. If you help kids, help generations. It's like what you're trying to do is like the biggest impact of the future, the kids.
Exactly. Yeah, you're exactly right. Like I mentioned, like me even going to chiropractic school had a triple effect on my entire family. And my sister having babies and my niece and my nephew's health. Like it is, they're thriving. And I'm just so grateful. I mean, obviously they also have amazing parents, but like a really great household that they're being raised in. But I mean, my sister will attest to this, like they are just so healthy. And they've both been adjusted since day one on a weekly basis. It's just amazing to see how much it impacts the kids that we serve's health, and wanting to just provide more families that option and giving them the knowledge and awareness so they can make the best choice for themselves and their family and their health.
Yeah, health is wealth. And for those who don't know, a little fun fact about my son Alexander, he was just the first day he was born. Literally, he was born, they came to our house and gave him an adjustment. Literally the same exact day.
Isn't that so amazing?
Yeah, he's happy. He's healthy, so it definitely works.
He's thriving. I love it. I mean, it's just so cool. It's my favorite. I mean, I love giving, like I said, hope and providing those families that are already down the rabbit hole, have already done 8 rounds of antibiotics for ear infections, are talking about 2. I love serving that family because we give them a different direction and an out to this kind of chronic cycle of medications and dysregulation in their nervous system, and then providing them hope. It's so amazing. But it's really, really fun to see, like getting to adjust our moms during pregnancy, pre-wiring baby's nervous system in like not in stress is so powerful. And then literally being able to be there for those first days of life is just, it's so magical and amazing. And those kids really are like the healthiest kids that we see. So.
Love it. I think I give you 1,000%. And on the point of health, what would you change if you could? One thing about how they approach health as a whole.
I mean, I think it's looking at it from an outside-in perspective. I think is the biggest thing that needs to shift in healthcare. And so we are everything that we do in health right now or taught about health is we get a symptom outside in. We need to do something from the outside to fix the symptom we're experiencing. So we have to make a change via medication. So it's changing the chemistry and the biology of the body. And it's all outside in approach. Do to fix ourselves. Where the chiropractic philosophy is actually above, down, inside out. So we actually have a perfect system. We have a lot of tools to self-regulate and self-heal within our neurology. And I think if we focus more on an inside-out approach to health, we are going to have more success in our country. I mean, at the end of the day, we are the sickest country in like ever. Our kids are the sickest they've ever been. Majority of people are on medication. We're overweight. We're just not healthy. I mean, we have one of the worst infant mortality rates in the entire world, and we're like the number one most developed country. And there's something to say about that. We have a lot of an outside-in approach to health, and it's not serving us, and we can see that in our numbers. all of our statistics are not showing us that we are doing anything right to support our people. And so I think the biggest shift is going from an outside in approach to an inside out approach, and really starting with healing the nervous system. And then we can always work our way up from there. Not saying medications aren't, I mean, I had a surgery that obviously gave me my life. And I'm able to obviously like have my whole ankle get shattered in a cheerleading accident and be totally fine now, you know, and be able to cheer the next year. That's incredible use of medicine. And that's where I feel like we're just overusing it in things that we don't really need to be using it for. So, yeah.
Yeah, so like give us the Band-Aids and like fix the root problem.
Exactly. Yeah, we're putting a Band-Aid over things, and then it just it escalates into more instead of actually becoming having any healing to do. Most people who are on medications are told they're going to be on them for the rest of their lives, and that's not really a solution.
Yeah. Well, I will say some crazy statistics that you brought up. I did not know it was like the worst in every category. I thought it was like, oh, people were obese and sick, but it's a lot of things that we all really slacking on because of not having the kind of knowledge you have.
Yeah, it's in many different things. I don't have all the numbers right off the top of my head, but if anybody wants those numbers, I mean, Google it. Like it's very there, but yeah, we are not great in many different categories.
You know, I honestly believe that. Sadly, so not too surprised to hear that.
Yes.
And kind of to wrap up almost with like 15 minutes less, a little less than that. If you give yourself one piece of advice to younger Dr. Morgan, what would that be?
I feel like I've learned this by now, but it's just like you're holding on to the wins, like holding on to the stories of healing that come out of your office. Like it's every person who's walked through our office and had a miracle happen. It's like when the days are harder is remembering those wins and why you're doing what you're doing. So, I mean, it's something that we do on a weekly basis, try to do in our team meetings, is like always start with wins, practice number wins. So not like numbers wins, not like, it's like literally how like what's one person this week that had a healing story, and let's talk about it. Because that really is, it's like the impact that we provide to people and holding on to that. I mean, as y'all know a little bit, but I went through a really hard first trimester, and you know, there was moments where I was so sick myself that I really just was like, I can't do this. Like, I don't know how I'm going to do this. Like I wanted to, it's the first time in my entire life, I feel like I just wanted to give up. I was like, I don't know how I'm going to do this, but y'all, my community is what, I mean, I showed up. I was like, I know that I have so much more to give. There's so many more healing stories to come out of Truly, and through my hands, through our doctor team's hands. And I was like, I would be, you know, it's just like holding on to that.
Yeah.
And the community that we're, you know, I'm really feel called to serve.
I love it. Like you go back to what you said before, like the point of entrepreneurship to help more people and how that impact and do what you love and follow that vision, which you do very well. I'm happy that you're now thriving along with trimester sickness.
Yes, me too.
Definitely never fun. And then what would be the biggest takeaway that people right now are listening to this can take from this whole live podcast today?
Yeah, I think so. You know, at the end of the day, like I mentioned, your nervous system runs the show, and you have the power within you to heal. So if you feel like you're struggling right now with anything, your kid's struggling with anything, at the end of the day, there could be something in their nervous system that's dysregulated, and chiropractic is a really, really amazing tool to help. Why not give it a shot? We have miracles happen every day in the office, and we'd love for you to be a part of it.
And on that note, how can they find you?
Yeah. I mean, obviously on Instagram, I feel like Truly Chiropractic. We have 2 locations. So Truly Chiropractic is our south location. And we have Truly Chiropractic North, which is our north location. If you're not in the Austin area, if you want to go to pxdocs.com, there also is a directory where you can find somebody near you, or just reach out to us and we can help you find somebody. But yeah, you can connect with us on Instagram, on our website, book an appointment with us. Yeah, really, that would be the easiest way to go about it.
Definitely go find her guys on her website, on Instagram. You'll be truly delighted once you have access to them. Again, it changed my family life as well. And the only regret you will have not using them sooner. So make sure you guys go to the site, connect with Dr. Morgan and them. And again, even see the TV show we have with them as well on American Dream.
Yeah.
See more insights on what they've done, how they help people around the world.
Yeah, absolutely. We would be honored to be a part of your family's health.
Love it, love it. And then my last big question, if you can share one message to the world, what would that be?
I think it's the same. Like, it really is, the world needs health and healing from a holistic standpoint. And if you haven't had chiropractic care before or been under chiropractic care before, it really is life-changing. Like, try it out.
Get adjusted, guys. Go get adjusted. You will thank us later. And then, any last notes you want to add before we hop off today?
No, I'm just grateful to have y'all in our lives, in my life and Truly's life, and that we're able to be a part of y'all's journey too. So yeah, just grateful to have y'all have invited me on here and to continue to support each other.
The feeling is mutual. Thank you again, Dr. Morgan, for being here, guys. Yo, check out Dr. Morgan and Truly Chiropractor. This is the best chiropractor in all the lands. You will thank yourself for going there. And again, Elite Edge Podcast where top players go, become world class in all areas of life, not just in business, but in health, wellness, and so much more. Thanks for watching, and we'll see y'all soon.
Bye.